An income, you know, to create a family and things of that nature, like at least 100,000 is acceptable. I mean, we'll take less, but it just depends on your job and your career and what you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of girls have said that, and I actually just recently read the statistic where only 2% of men between the ages of 20 and 40 make six figures and are—
Only 2% of men, and they all want it. Do you see how the standards have been fucked up from social media? 2% of men make six figures, and 100% of women want that. And 100% of women want you to be monogamous. The game's fucked up. The game's fucked up.
You're looking for a less than 1% man. And you, yes, you are.
She's a 1% female.
No, she's not. You're not.
Yes, she is.
You're not in.
You know.
You're not.
You value.
You're
You
not.
don't know me. You don't know what I put on the table in relationships. The most.
A single. You're a single mother. You are not.
So?
You are not. I'm not saying this to be mean, but you are not in the.
You're mean.
Let me finish. Okay. You are not in the 1% of desirable partners out there. You're just not.
So what? Do you want me to lower my standards? Or what's your like?
If you want to.
I'd rather to be alone than agree with their bare minimum. Period.
There it is.
Problem. No, hold on. Let me ask a better question. Why should he handle you?
Because I'm worthy of it.
Really?
Of course.
Why should he handle you at 38 with 2 children when he can go ahead and deal with someone who's 18, no children, doesn't have to handle her, no kids, and quite frankly is probably a better long-term investment for him for a relationship? Men want naturally feminine women just like you want a naturally masculine guy. That's just how it goes. Men and women are different. They're not attracted to a guy that has experience, has ambition, has money, assertive, dominant, masculine. Men are not attracted to that. And unfortunately, women that make money, like yourself, a six-figure earner, are assertive, dominant, argumentative, not agreeable, loud, interrupt, loud, etc. This is great for making money, being successful. But guess what? Men don't give a shit about that. Why? Because your money is your money. My money is our money.
A lot of successful men, something they don't like is successful women because they feel intimidated.
It's not that they're intimidated, it's that women that make money and are successful are annoying most of the time. That's what they don't want to tell you.
Why?
Because women that are successful act like men, and men don't want to date themselves.
I mean, how are women acting masculine? Like
women that earn a lot of money typically have bad habits.
Like what?
They're aggressive, they're non-agreeable, they're dominant, they're assertive, they're competitive, they work really hard, A-type personalities. This is all great for making money, but it's terrible for finding a man.
How much do you expect your guy to make a year?
At least 7 figures at least.
Do you know how difficult it is to make 7 figures?
Absolutely I do.
Obviously we deserve it. 7 figures.
No, you're not.
7 figures, both of you.
Yes, we deserve it.
Women who think this way about themselves will never end up with the kind of man they think they deserve. Because they don't deserve him.
All right. When I asked you guys earlier, what do you bring to the table? All the things that you guys mentioned are easily replaceable by a 21-year-old girl. So how are you going to keep a guy around that has options? We asked you guys that question for a purpose. Most women provide the same things over and over again, and if they don't provide those same things over, they provide, oh, I have money and status, as if men care about that. We don't.
But what happens if you're not you guys?
That's the scary part. You don't know.
Nothing.
That's what I'm trying to say. No. That's the scary part. Like, you don't know. You're able to live in bizarro world and think, I'm going to bring myself to the table and that's enough. But the reality is this. You bring enough for sex, but you don't bring enough for a relationship. Most girls have enough to attain a guy, but they don't have enough to retain a guy.
As a woman who makes 7 figures, like my money does not retain my relationship, like my ability to.
There you go.
If he gets home at 6 a.m., me making breakfast when he gets home is what's retaining my relationship. It's never been my ability to. I'm a Forbes lister, top of my game, but that doesn't retain my relationship. Me cooking from scratch 3 times a day retains my relationship and retains me going on
3 times a day?
Yes, from scratch. I was on Food Network, but like me being able to cook, me being able to upkeep our home and like putting labels on everything, doing weirdo organizing shit is what's retaining my relationship.
It's not weird, it's fantastic.
So let's just say, for example, you're a simple man. You don't like all the fancy luxury stuff. You don't need all that. That does not impress you. It does nothing for you. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's who you are. Right? But she likes to live the high life. All right? She wants the fancy things. If you don't understand that this woman does not fit your lifestyle, you're asking for problems.
I posted a video encouraging women to not prioritize a career first and instead focus on a family throughout their 20s. And it is so sad because I consistently get the same deadgum comments from these same type of women. We're trying to teach women not to settle and not be pressured by our biological clock because they're better than that. If he loves you, he'll take you just the way you are forever. There are no compromises needed. You don't need to change anything. However, he still might have to change some stuff. A decently handsome man that makes a decent amount of money, that's maybe an 8, will absolutely settle for a woman that is a 6 if she attains some attributes that he might find appealing in a mom or a wife. For instance, she's nurturing, she's loving, she brings him peace when he comes home from work. He'll take her over the baddies that are a 9 that are it up at a club because that is what he finds attractive and worthwhile for the rest of his life. You'll have a good man that says, I make just enough for you to have our baby, raise them at home, keep them out of the government's hands so that they can be raised the way we want them to be raised. And because girls have to get their hair done and their nails done every 3 weeks, they'd rather go career up and boss babe and be independent just so they can get their nails done.
It's fine. I can tell that you're confident in who you are and maybe you want to make some changes, but in reality, I don't know why, but I tend to get a little bit confrontational or argumentative or maybe a little bit defensive when men give you their perspective, and yet we want to argue what men want when they're literally telling us over and over what men want. Perfect. She's married, y'all. It's like they're telling us, and yes, you have some masculine traits and a strong attitude, and you say that when the right man comes along, you'll be feminine, but that's not true. You're not going to give that man the time of day, and in reality, it takes 3 seconds to make a first impression, some odd number like that, and that man is going to immediately disqualify you from wife material.
Women, it does not matter how much money you make when it comes to dating, because at the end of the day, men will marry the waitress.
It's funny because 100% true. I've also seen some waitresses kind of slip in their numbers. I can't tell you how many successful women I've met, and they tell me, I was a waitress, and I actually met my husband waitressing. So I have to say, unless you come from a very traditional household and you really care about what your parents say, which after time that does change, I believe this guy 100%. Men are not afraid to marry a waitress. I think men are looking for certain qualities, not just physical beauty, but more so femininity, beauty inside, someone who's serving, someone who's caring, and what better way to do it than be a waitress?